Hello, welcome to episode 49 of the Ask Self Belief Chief podcast. This is the podcast where you're streaming in from Instagram Live. I'm answering your questions, anything around the concept of self-belief, anything that's troubling you, anything that you want to improve, you want to grow, you want to develop, whatever questions that you have, we just go off the cuff. And we might go in any direction. That's the great thing about this, is that there's no strict agenda. We might talk about something completely random and off topic, but hey, if it's of interest to you and it's bothering you, then that is what we're going to talk about. So hello to the first few people who have joined. Hello. I just waved to a few of you. So today what I wanted to do was I wanted to kick off with something I had earlier today, and I'm going to put a video out on YouTube, which is around, I had someone who was saying they were scared of who they could become. And I knew what they meant because I'd heard of this before, but they said they were scared of who they were or who they could become. But I asked them, still explain it to me, just so it makes sense. They said they had this idea, they wanted to do this vlog, they had this, idea of capturing all this stuff, and it was really, really good, really, really interesting, but they were scared of pursuing this particular idea. And I said, well, why are you scared of it? I worry, what people think of me, and actually they might not like it and they might judge me for it. And, I don't need that kind of pressure. I don't need that kind of stress. My life's not about that. I want to be happy. I want people to like me. And so I want to see what the people want. I said, okay, that's very interesting. And that notion always really gets me. Here's why. Let me just say hello to a few more people on Instagram. Hello. If you've got questions on Instagram, please send them in the comments below right now. If you've got questions on Instagram, send them in the comments below and I'll get around to them as well. So I was telling the story of this boy who, he really wanted to do this, but he was worried what people thought. And I said, well, firstly, these people, who are you worried about? He sat and he thought for a little bit about who he was worried about. But he couldn't think of the answer straight away. Eventually he says a few of his friends and people like that. And he talks about these friends. And I said, well, let's be honest. Are these people going to be in your life forever? And he said, well, actually, yeah, probably not. So you're going to let someone's opinion of you, someone that isn't even clearly an important part of your life because they're not always going to be in your life, you're going to let that affect your present and your future. And he stopped and he thought, yeah, it sounds kind of silly now, doesn't it? And that's the thing for me, is that a lot of these things, when you worry about stuff, is we worry about looking silly, but actually if you make the notion silly, that you're worrying about these sorts of things, if you make that silly, well then good things may start to come back your way. So don't be scared of what other people think, because actually these people, how important are they to you? And if they are important to you, then succeed. Do something. Show them that you love it. Show them that you enjoy it. Because if they see you happy, then why would they want to stop you being happy? So that's my first thing. Okay, so Maximilian on Instagram says, how can I keep calm and enjoy myself? How can I keep calm and enjoy myself? Breathing. We all breathe incorrectly. Breathe. You breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and breathe out through your mouth for 8 seconds. When you breathe in through your mouth, you activate something called the vagus nerve, and this is a nerve that's like a stress signal straight to the brain. When you breathe in through your mouth, like you're gasping, it sends a signal to the brain, puts you on panic, puts you on red alert, and then eventually it calms down because you're not in a life or death situation. Breathe in through your nose, relax, and do this 4 or 5 times, and just compose yourself. Then you've got that clear mind and that focus to see and seek what you enjoy, and to really be present when you enjoy yourself, because you have to appreciate the present that is in front of you. Okay, Mariam has said, motivate me about how to prepare for my exam in 1 day. Wow, thank you. Could you have given me a bit more notice? 1 day. Okay, you want an exam in 1 day. What can we do for you? I want you to think about what's on the other side of your exam. Not to think past your exam, but to think about if you were to do all the work, if you were to put everything you had into it, if you were to just cram it all in your brain, try and learn it as well as possible, rehearse it, go over it, then think about when you're done and that feeling of accomplishment, that regardless of almost how well you did in the exam. And that's sort of it for me. Was I look back at how hard I worked, not actually what I did in the exams, how hard I worked. And you can look back the next day or the evening of and go, you know what, I did pretty well. That feeling of accomplishment, as opposed to regret of there was more I could have done. You know, it's a no-win. Not a no-win. That's for me a winner. That's an absolute winner to have that feeling. I die for that feeling of accomplishment, that I've actually put myself and taken myself to a place I've never been. Because if I take myself to a place I've never been, chances are other people haven't been there either, and that's an opportunity for me to motivate and inspire other people. So that's how I would motivate you for your exam. But good luck with that, Annie. I am answering your questions. So absolutely send in your questions. I've got people saying nice to see you, long time no see. Absolutely, that's a pleasure to have you all back. Okay, what else? Maximilian, you are very welcome, and I am not special at all. Sleeping is important, yeah, because we have a midterm exam and there is no gap between the papers. Good luck with that. No, I don't envy you going through that exam period stuff. It's challenging, it's difficult. So, but all the best with that. Okay. Thank you for motivating me. You are very welcome. Thank you for encouraging me. Now all well going in my life. Well, you're very, very welcome. Anyone who's tuning into the podcast from wherever, I'd love to speak to you and work with you at some point, and give you that level of self-belief and encouragement that you need to take on the challenges you want to take, because you know the rewards are so great. The best motivator I've ever seen from Maximilian. That's very kind of you. Okay, so just going back to the boy I spoke about at the beginning, he had that thing he wanted to do and wanted to accomplish, and you've got to do it. There's a story.